Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, our group will present about the topic unhealthy office environment, which is sick building syndrome. So, this is our group poster. So, this is the content on this video.
Have you heard about sick building syndrome? Well, for your information, sick building syndrome can be described as a situation in which building occupants experience health or comfort-related effects that seem to be directly linked to time spent in the building. Sick building syndrome is also a health problem that is often associated with an unhealthy office environment. This has resulted in the causes of sick building syndrome. There are many theories as to what problem encourage from sick building syndrome. Among the most common specific environmental conditions that cause sick building syndrome are chemical contaminants, biological contaminants, inadequate ventilation, electromagnetic radiation, psychological factors, and poor lighting. Why should we avoid this pain syndrome? Why is it so important? This is because it can affect employees as well as the work area environment. Among the symptoms that may be experienced by employees are headache, dizziness, abnormal fatigue, difficulty breathing, sore throat, cough, skin rash. This syndrome is thought to exist in a particular building when at least 20% of employees complain of similar symptoms.
Alright, so now we will move to my part, which is the causes of sick building syndrome. Alright, so I will explain the two causes of sick building syndrome. The first causes of sick building syndrome is chemical contaminants. So, what is chemical contaminants? Chemical contaminants is from outdoor sources. Contaminants from outside like pollutants from motor vehicle exhaust, plumbing vents, and building exhaust such as bathrooms and kitchens can enter the building through poorly located air intake vents, window, and other openings. Besides, combustion byproducts can enter a building from a nearby garage, such as radon, formaldehyde, asbestos, dust, and lead paint can enter through poorly located air intake vents and other openings. It is also from indoor sources. The most common contaminant of indoor air includes the volatile organic compounds, or it's called as VOC. The main sources of VOC are adhesives, upholstery, carpeting, copy machines, manufactured wood products, pesticides, cleaning agents, and others. Environmental tobacco smoke, respirable particulate matter, combustion byproducts from stove, fireplace, and unrated space heater also increase the chemical contamination. Lastly is synthetic fragrance in personal care products or in cleaning and maintenance products also contribute to the contamination. The second causes of sick building syndrome is biological contaminants. So what is biological contaminants? Biological contaminants is always include pollen, bacteria, viruses, fungus, molds. These contaminants can be in stagnant water that has accumulated in humidifiers, drain pipes, and ducts, or where water has collected on ceiling tiles, insulation, carpets, and upholstery. Insect and bird droppings can also be a source of biological contamination. Next is biological contamination can causes fever, chills, cough, chest tightness, muscle aches, and allergic reactions. Besides, in offices with a high density of occupancy, airborne disease can spread rapidly from one worker to another worker. Air conditioning system can also recirculate pathogens and spread them throughout the building. Lastly, before I end my part, I will give you guys the example of disease, which is Legionnaires' disease due to Legionella organisms. So that's all for my part. We will move to the next presenter.
Inadequate ventilation. In 1970, all MBGO led building designers to make building more airtight with less outdoor air ventilation in order to improve energy efficiency. The ventilation was reduced to 5 CFM per person. This reduced ventilation rate was found to be inadequate to maintain the health and comfort of building occupants. Malfunctioning heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system also increased the indoor air pollution. In order to have an acceptable indoor air quality with a minimum energy consumption, the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers recently revised ventilation standard to a minimum outdoor airflow rate of 15 CFM per person to avoid the problem related to inadequate ventilation. The standard are 20 CFM per person in office spaces and 60 CFM per person in smoking lounge. For design and construction of building with a greater number of office crammed in a building to increase the sellable area also contribute to inadequate ventilation. Electromagnetic radiation. Gadgets like microwave, television, and computer emit electromagnetic radiation which ionize the air. Extensive wiring without proper grounding also create high magnetic fields which have been linked to cancer. Psychological factors. Excessive work stress, dissatisfaction, poor interpersonal relationship, and poor communication are often seen to be associated with sick building syndrome.
Hi, my name is Shifa binti Muhammad Zahari from class BA1185PB. So, I will proceed about my part, which is poor lighting, recommendation for improving the situation of sick building syndrome, and the conclusion. So, what is poor lighting? Poor lighting is poor and inappropriate lighting with absence of sunlight, bad acoustics, poor ergonomics, and humidity may also contribute to causes of sick building syndrome. The symptoms of sick building syndrome are commonly seen in people with clerical jobs than in people with managerial jobs because professionals or managers have better working conditions. The symptoms are more common in females than in males, probably because more females are in secretarial jobs. They are more aware of their health, or a lesser dose of pollutants is required to manage the effects. The symptoms are more common in air-conditioned buildings than in naturally ventilated buildings and are more common in a public sector building than in a private sector building. Next, we move to the recommendation. Among the recommendations for improving the situation of sick building syndrome is to increase the rate of ventilation and air distribution. If there are strong pollutants, air may need to be expelled directly to the outside. This method is recommended primarily for removing contaminants that have accumulated in certain areas such as restrooms, copy rooms, and printing facilities. In addition, by way of removal or modification of pollutant source can be done with routine maintenance of HVAC systems, replacing water contaminated ceiling tiles and carpet, using stone, ceramic, or hardwood floors, proper waterproofing, avoiding synthetic or treated upholstery fabrics, minimizing use electronic goods and unplugged idle device, dispose of contaminant outside, store paints, solvents, pesticide and adhesives in closed containers in well-ventilated areas and use this source of contaminant during periods of low or no occupancy, allowing time for building materials in new areas to remove gas pollutants prior to occupancy, and smoking restriction are some of the measures that can be used. Next, we also can add air purification to control air pollution. Air cleaning can be done by ensuring interiors that do not conform to open office design, use frosted glass and skylights that give access to natural light, patio garden, community space and indoor plants that absorb carbon monoxide and formaldehyde from the air. Air filters are also effective in removing some, if not all, contaminants. Finally, the head office should limit smoking in designated, well-ventilated areas away from workstations and create a no-smoking zone with the help of law. In conclusion, we can conclude that this sick building syndrome is not a small problem. and it needs to be addressed as soon as possible, as it can affect the employees as well as the environment in the workplace. As we know, indoor air quality can have a profound impact on the health and productivity of employees or building occupants in the workplace. To stay healthy, we need to take smart steps to reduce or prevent pain syndrome. Therefore, the improvement of environmental conditions such as increasing the efficiency of HVAC systems, increasing fresh air flow in the sector, reducing the workload of nurses as well as improving the quality of working life will motivate nurses and increase productivity in the workplace. Plans of HVLS mold restoration and careful material selection during renovation can help clear up or prevent the problem of sick building syndrome.